So, okay, Green Bay, 38-33 winners over the Chicago Bears. Okay, I don't know where to start. You know what? Let's start with the call on Shea McClellan. Ben and I were talking about it. Ben, Heather, and I were talking about it. You obviously saw the game as well, at least I hope. Was it a late hit on Aaron Rodgers? Are they overprotecting quarterbacks right now in the year 2013?
I think we have to distinguish in our outrage calls that are wrong and calls that are wrong that are outliers. And I don't think it was an outlier. I think we can call it. It was not a Malcolm Gladwell hit, but I think we would all like to see something where late hits are not such game-changing plays when they're not flagrant like that one. Now, I think that hit could have been called a late hit sometimes, and sometimes it isn't, but it wasn't like, oh my God, this call never gets made. So that's why I would be less outraged about it than perhaps you are today as a Bears fan.
Right, but there is a lack of consistency with those calls, and too many times they are game changers.
Look, they didn't call it in the Eagles game, and they were right not to call it in the Eagles game. Like, Foles got up towards the end and was like, what? Where's my late call, right?
When
Where
you
late
slid
hit.
short of the first
Yeah,
one,
that's right, yeah. And so I'm glad they didn't call it there. I don't like it when those change the outcome of a game, and they call it too often.
And that would have been the game right there. That would have been the end of the game. That would have given the Eagles a first down, and that was that.
So how do we decipher the borderline calls? Nick Foles not getting one, Aaron Rodgers getting one when Shea McClellan hit him. I honestly did not think it was late, and I know that people are going to say that's my Chicago bias weighing in. I'm telling you, I prefer the Bears not making the playoffs because they would get absolutely embarrassed again on national TV.
Who says that? What is that?
Why? Why wouldn't you say that? It's real. That's what it is. They're one of the worst defenses in the league. Why would you want to see that again?
You don't want to watch a Bears game next week. That's what you don't want to see the Bears play next week.
Out of anything,
if you make it to the playoffs,
save the embarrassment.
Super Bowl.
If
you make it to the playoffs, you might be playing in the Super Bowl.
With that defense?
I'm just saying. If you want to make it to the playoffs.
Okay, look.
To be fair.
Whatever.
But they might have won a game. Like, I don't
think the Steelers are going to go to the Super Bowl, but I would have liked them in the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
Would have been fun. Yeah, they probably would have gotten their ass kicked, but at least they'd be there. Yeah. And, you never know. And they are the Steelers. Hey, watch it, okay?
Okay, so
respect the belt.
The last biggest.
respect the belt.
You can put yours away now if you want to.
Like royalty,
He wears it, I wear it. I'm a one-time champion.
The last and biggest play of the game, Randall Cobb, by the way, was active, and he was awesome, obviously, for the Packers. So was that Aaron Rodgers fella. So
It turns out those guys make a difference.
Yeah, they might. Possibly the most questionable call I've seen this year from a Bears defense that, as I just said, was ranked 30th in the league. So they're on the 47-yard line, the Packers are. And for some reason...
How are they ranked 30th? Who's worse?
Dallas.
Oh, right.
Dallas, but I think Minnesota as well. Dallas and Minnesota. So they're in great company at the bottom of the league. By the way, Monte Kiffin probably coming back, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Surprising to say the least, James Anderson basically signaled to Isaiah Fry, a rookie, to blitz. So the defensive coordinator, Mel Tucker, brought in 6 guys. So he left man-to-man coverage all around with guys like Zach Bowman, who's a special teams guy, Tim Jennings, who's very undersized, and Chris Conte, who's arguably the worst safety in the league. Chris Conte gets it mixed up. Randall Cobb's wide open. Touchdown for the Packers. Incredibly questionable play calling, bringing 6 guys instead of having some support in the secondary. And they went 3 for 3 on 4th down on that final drive.
I disagree with you pretty strongly.
Why?
Because Aaron Rodgers, at that point, in something of a rhythm late in the game, and I don't think you give Aaron Rodgers, you guys don't put pressure on the quarterback with 4 guys. I don't give him time to throw. He'll get that 8 yards. Now, as it happened, it went as wrong as it could go wrong, but your best bet at any time in those situations is to make a great quarterback hurry a throw, and it's incomplete and you win the game.
I understand what you're saying, but out of anything, with guys like McClellan and guys like Julius Peppers, I would trust them to make a play in that situation. You want to blitz 5, fine, but don't leave man-to-man coverage all the way around with guys like Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb and James Jones.
Aaron Rodgers made a great play. He made a great play.
Well, John Kuhn made a great block, too, on Peppers.
Right. If he doesn't make the block or if Rodgers reacts a half a beat later,
or if Chris Conte knows what the defense defense is, you know. Or if Chris Conte knows what the defense is, then Randall Cobb wouldn't have been wide open.
What are we even talking about this game?
I don't know. I don't know why we are.
The details. I generally agree with Ben. I hate it when they give the quarterback a million hours to pass, especially a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. He's going to burn you. I'd rather blitz him and take my chances. Okay, now it didn't work out in this case for good reasons, as you're pointing out, Rick. Yeah. But the macro picture is, and the reason I'm wearing this belt is that the Packers were going to win, man. They were going to win. The only chance that the Bears had of winning that division was that Rodgers got hurt for like 28 weeks out of the season, and he came back in. And they still won the division. Yeah. That's how much better the Packers were than the Bears.
Oh, no, I don't
They
disagree.
lost their, like, not only Rodgers, they lost Cobb. I mean, they were devastated by injuries. They still won the division because they're leagues better than the Bears and the Lions.
Well, yeah,
do they lose to the 49ers?
That'll be interesting.
It'll be a game we're all anxious to see. My hunch is the Niners win it because I think
in Green Bay.
Yeah, I think they'll just win. We'll see if it's bitterly cold and Kaepernick can't quite adjust to that. Maybe, but I mean, he's been in cold weather before. He's a human. So I don't know. My hunch is that the Niners will win it because I don't think you accidentally go 8-7-1. Yeah, they had injuries. Like their season got turned upside down. The Packers did, and it's for good reason. But they're not quite the same. And the fact is, for all that was wrong with the Bears, that play gets repeated 25 times. The fact is, the Bears almost won that game. The Packers didn't have that game won. Although, if they picked up 9 yards on that play, then they would have picked up 15 more and kicked a field goal.